All right, next up we have Only Sin Deep. I don't know how many of these titles are punny like that, like the Crypt Keeper, but I hope a lot of them. I can't remember what all the titles are, but I'm looking forward to all of them. Now this one stars Leah Thompson, which most people are going to remember her from Back to the Future, which I totally understand that, but I'm sure you might be able to guess what movie she is from. For me, the awesome, the extremely underappreciated, because people just seem to not know how to have any fucking fun, Howard the Damn Duck. How can you not like Howard the fucking Duck? I don't get it. Anyway, this was written by Fred Decker, who wrote and directed Night of the Creeps. He also wrote House, and he did a treatment for House 2, which is one of my favorite freaking horror comedies of all time. But yeah, so anyway, so this is a prostitute who goes and kills a pimp for his fucking watch and takes it to a pawn shop to pawn it. The guy tells her that it's too hot, that he can't buy it, but he will buy her beauty for $10,000. She thinks he's a joker, and this is so stupid. And she has a cast made of her face, which somehow doesn't affect her hair or makeup at all. That's incredible. And bullshit. She has 4 months to get back her beauty, and she has to pay him like the 10 grand plus like 12% or something interest, and she thinks it's, a joke. Then she goes and she finds herself a rich man, and I like how she plays him. She just walks in this party. She's been a hooker. She knows men. She knows how to freaking, play games with them and become their fantasy and get them to only notice her. She's the only woman in the room to them, and I love how she plays that whole thing out. She goes and she slaps him across the face. Like, she literally like has to walk and just like hit this guy, and that gets like his attention fully. It's a risky move, but it works on this guy. Now, I'm not saying it would work on every guy by any means. It sure as shit wouldn't work on me. But I love how she just takes the whole room by storm and gets exactly what she wants and walks right out with this dude. He's there with another chick, and when she walks in, the whole room just is like, whoa, and he cannot stop. And she could have just been any other girl. Like, this guy is clearly a player and whatnot, but this girl comes in and tames him instantly. She becomes the fantasy he always wanted. She is the dream girl that he's always been looking for. And I just love how that whole thing plays out. And I love their names. Her last name is Vane, and his last name is Price. That's just funny stuff right there. It's on the nose, but it still works so well. I love how she treats the $10,000 that she gets from this selling of her beauty like she just won the fucking lottery. Like, she's buying everything and living large. She goes out and has her hair and her nails and everything done. She's buying like so many outfits, and she's like throwing the money up in the air. I guess when you have nothing, 10 grand especially, I mean, at this time, this was a ton of money to her. And when she's in there the first time and she does sell the beauty, this girl comes in who's old and is like, you son of a bitch, and attacks the guy and leaves. But when she comes in, once her beauty starts to go away, there's another beautiful woman in there, which she actually warns and tells to fucking go away and not to do business with him. I was actually wondering that when the other girl was in there. I was like, really? You're not going to tell this beautiful young girl right here to go away, that he's going to try to steal her beauty? I mean, I guess these kinds of girls are just completely selfish, but and Leah Thompson's character in this, whatever Vane, I can't remember her first name, but I guess her character does have a moment where she's trying not only think of herself. Now, something that I think that she does, and I'm not saying this is a kind of plot hole or anything, because it isn't, but one thing I think that she does that's completely idiotic is when she goes back in and she finds out that she has missed the deadline by a day and wants her beauty back, and she gets him to agree to a price of $100,000. She goes and she robs her rich ass husband to be, and then like breaks everything in the house and shoots him. I don't understand that at all. Like, go to your husband or your husband to be who's crazy about you. Explain everything that happened and get him to pay for it. It clearly would be a drop in the bucket for this guy. So as much as he seemed to be into her, she could have pulled that off so easily. But that wouldn't be a Tales from the Crypt episode if people didn't start dying and making stupid-ass decisions. I was just thinking about that when I was watching this episode. Like, really? You didn't just run right to your dude and be like, get it to me? And then, you know, which of course, instantly when she kills him and this and that, I'm sitting there being like, wait a minute. So you're going to get yourself wanted for murder and then go buy back your youth and your beauty so that you can then be locked up in prison for the rest of your life? I mean, at least you'll be beautiful in prison? I don't know, like, what her thought is on that. And then when he shows her the paper, like, she's wanted. I think it's the paper, right? If it is, that makes no sense, because how the fuck did the paper come out in the time it took her to get to the apartment to her? I think it is the paper, which makes no fucking sense. It's not on TV, is it? No. Wow, that makes no sense. Anyway, it doesn't matter. But he's like, are you gonna, you know, if I sell you back your beauty, because she brings him this stuff that's worth at least $100,000, and he's like, if I sell you back your beauty, you're gonna be wanted for murder, which he's right. But she could have easily been like, okay, sell me back my beauty. Is there a way? Like, she didn't even talk to him about this, but there could have been a way where now she doesn't look anything like her. So it would have been very easy to get out of the country. So you go and you get out of the country, go to a place where they don't extradite, and then have him reverse the curse. At least discuss this with him. Like the fact that she just gives up and goes and grabs her bust and then she drops it on the ground and breaks it, and then she's old and ugly forever from that point, I guess. There's just so many dumb decisions. I know it's just a show and that's all it is, but just drives me effing crazy. And plus, we don't really know what happened. I mean, when she broke that thing, I mean, maybe that's how the curse is lifted. And maybe that's, you know, under that thing, she then popped up and she was beautiful again and then got arrested and put in prison for the rest of her life. Or she got away and moved away and got to the Mexican border. Who knows? We don't know. She's probably just ugly for life. But, yeah, I think that's it. Yes, it is. All right, moving on.